Good evening and welcome to the April 28th, 2025 Abington Board of School Directors. I note the attendance of all board members who please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Abington Board of School Directors has convened this evening's meeting at the Administration Building, and the public is welcome. The meeting is being broadcast live on the Abington School District YouTube channel. This meeting is being recorded and will be accessible to the district's website and cable channel no later than Friday, April 11, 2025, to allow those members of the public who cannot participate to view the meeting at a later time. Comments from citizens will be conducted in person and by phone. Information regarding participating remotely in public comment will be displayed on the screen at the time of public comment. The board thanks the public in advance for its cooperation. This is a place where we hold dignity in high regard, and everyone's voice is respected and welcomed in this space. Dr. Fetcher, do we have any additional announcements or agenda items?
Not this evening.
Okay. With that, we will move on to opening comments of the board members. Mr. Allen.
Nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Ms. Eisenhart.
Good evening and welcome.
Mr. Mohammed.
Good evening.
Ms. Spalding.
Good evening, everybody.
Ms. Hartman.
Good evening.
Ms. Fraser.
Welcome.
Ms. Fazy.
Good evening, everyone.
And Ms. Wu.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome to the meeting, everyone. Dr. Fetcher, can you please proceed with our student council representatives?
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. First, from Abington Senior High School, I would ask that Bryson Edmonds please come up.
Good evening, Dr. Mowry, Dr. Fetcher, and the members of the School of Board Directors. My name is Bryson Edmonds, and I am the Student Council President of Abington Senior High School. The Student Council held their annual Spring Blood Drive this past Friday. We exceeded our goal of 73 pints and raised 77 pints of blood that were donated to the Red Cross. This is around 230 lives saved. The Abington Senior High School girls basketball team qualified for the PIAA State Championship over the 13th ranked Springford High School. Michelle Yakupova, a wrestler, qualified for states and will be attending Hershey, PA to compete for a state championship. Abington Senior High School lacrosse player Jaden Bagby had 8 saves against North Penn. This put her over 400 saves in her high school career. Abington Senior High School students attended the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association, PMEA, Region 6 Band Festival. Students included Adam Silverman, Alexander, Jacob, and Regan were all accepted in the PMEA All-State Orchestra. Brandon Hiriak was accepted into the PMEA All-State Concert Band. David Klinger, 11th grader, and Brandon Hiriak, 10th grader, will represent Abington Senior High School in the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association Region 6 Band Festival at North Penn High School. It's a long one. Abington Senior High School student artists' work was juried in the Pennsylvania State Education Association's Touch the Future exhibit at the Fine Arts Gallery at Montgomery County Community College Bluebell campus. Alexandria Thomas's painting, Self Solace, was awarded first place, Best in Show, and Desmond Farrow's sculpture, Out of Order, was awarded the Selma Burke Sculpture Award. This is in addition to numerous other students across all grade levels who were recognized for their outstanding artwork. Abington Senior High School Reading Olympics teams both brought home blue ribbons, the highest award, from the Montgomery County competition. 20 schools participated, and the students read 25 books, including works like All American Boys, One of Us is Lying, and Salt to the Sea. It is important to acknowledge these feats in a time where reading is such a major issue. The Abington Senior High School robotics team performed at the first robotics competition at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy and won the Judges Award for Rookie Team. Abington Senior High School Eastern Scholars continue to demonstrate their excellence in the District 2 Eastern Skills USA competitions. We had 9 first-place gold medal winners, 3 second-place silver medal winners, and 3 third-place bronze medal winners. Mei Wei Hong was selected as a winner of the National Merit $2,500 scholarship. The Abington Senior High School Key Club was represented at the 2nd annual closing ceremony of Make-A-Wish Rising Stars at Dave & Buster's in Plymouth Meeting. Almost done. The Abington Senior High School Engineer Scholars swept the Sea Perch and Sea Glide events hosted by the Navy and Temple University. This team included Erwin Quinlan, Kareem, Jim Brown, Celine Hamid, Daria, not going to butcher your last name, Teresa Kozak, Shane McCauley, Brian Amy Wang, and Yufeng Yang. Abington, an event at the high school centered around raising money for childhood cancer, raised a total of $76,321.96 this year. This set a school record for the most money ever raised. The final total will be split between numerous charities, including CHOP, Kisses for Kyle, and others. As you can see, activities have been picking up as spring has officially begun. Seniors are in the home stretch of this year, and all grades are approaching the finish line. It is important to continue with full momentum and end just as strongly as we started. Thank you, and have a nice evening. Respectfully submitted, Bryson Edmonds.
Thank you very much, Bryson. A lot going on.
Thank you, Bryson.
And from Abington Middle School, Jessica Jaglow.
Can I just say, Bryson, that a long list of accomplishments is a great problem to have.
Good evening, Dr. Maurer, Dr. Fletcher, and members of the Board of Student Directors. I am Jessica Jaglow. I am on the Executive Board of the Student Council for Abington Middle School. The Gender and Sexuality Alliance, GSA, participated in a day of no silence on April 4th. Approximately 50 students participated by vowing to stay silent to draw attention to the erasure and silencing of LGBTQ+ people. In a deviation from past years, students were encouraged to speak up the week before of the Day of Silence. Actions included writing letters to elected officials, contacting student council, and researching companies that support the LGBTQ+ community. The AMS Math Olympiad season is now over. The final contest was in March, and the students gave it their best effort. The final result standings will be arriving before the end of the school year, indicating the numbers of students earning patches and if there are any silver or gold pin winners. The AMS Chess Club is winding down. There are some talented chess players who played really well and even beat the sponsors. 8th grade Eagles team math teacher, Mrs. Daly, and Mr. Caruth collaborated and held a Pi Day activity for their students in the Little Theater on March 14th, trying in various data displays and proving the ratio of pi. Students even enjoyed a Pi Day treat at the conclusion of the activity. Students in the Going Green Club prepared the AMS garden for spring by adding mulch and putting in newly painted rocks in the school spirit, Abington Middle School Rocks Garden. In other meetings, students learned how to germinate seeds and started some herbs that, if all goes well, they'll be able to take herbs for their family in May. During March, Tata took 120 7th and 8th grade students to Bolera for an evening of bowling, arcade games, and pizza. In April, we are looking forward to hosting the unique board game event and our annual extravaganza. On April 2nd, 5 teams from Abington Middle School participated in a virtual Reading Olympics competition with 5 other schools in Montgomery County. Each team reads the required novel on the list and had a fabulous and fun evening. It was an amazing way to celebrate reading. The school's beautification club has designed a beautiful mural this year. The mural consists of a tranquil nature scene. The students are excited to complete the final stage of painting this month. The Builders Club has been collecting donations to fill duffel bags to give to youth in foster care. Donations are accepted until Wednesday, April 9th, and the bags will be bagged at their next meeting. Many students are participating in our spring sports program. We are looking forward to the continuation of the season throughout the rest of this month, with many upcoming practices and games. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica. You did a great job. Did you want to make any other remarks? Okay. Dr. Fetcher, please proceed with this evening's honors.
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. At this time, I'd like Dr. Alice Swift, principal of Abington Senior High School, to come forward to introduce Ms. Nissa Yeager, our physics, engineering, robotics teacher, and the Abington Senior High School robotics team.
Thank you, Dr. Fetcher, and good evening. Dr. Mowry, Board of Directors, thank you so much. And Mrs. Yeager, if the team wants to come up. Pretty much Bryson said it, and there are other things that we're getting ready to demonstrate. They are. Our robotics team performed at the first robotics competition at Springdale Chestnut Hill Academy and won the Judges Award for the rookie team. So while they're entering, I would like to introduce our scholars: Aiton Bogatin, Eric Zhang, Eric Ginsberg, Kareem Trickey, Cleve Bellevue, Jim Brown, Quinlan Irwin, Ryan Kawas, Alina McMenamin, Arvin Mishva, Seamus Morris, Theodore Poli, Mateo Viales, Amy Wang, Celine Hamid, Daria Kleipik, and Teresa Koziak. These are our Go Spots. And under the direction of Mrs. Yeager. In terms of demonstration, is that, or are they going to do the videos first? Okay. You want to talk it through? Tell them what we're getting ready to see.
Hello. So, you guys want to get it out? So this is the robot we made for our competition. In this competition, as you saw on the board, our primary goal, being a rookie team, was to kind of facilitate the more advanced teams by scoring on the bottom level. But our skill and our specialty in this competition was the speed at which we could score. So we could get, while we couldn't score on higher levels and reach the higher points that other teams were scoring, because of our coding and our autonomous code, which allowed us to consistently score choral on the bottom level and at very quick rates, we were able to do very well in the competition and overall place top. We were the top 1 or top 2 rookie teams at the event. We were top 1 at SCH and top 2 at Hatboro Horsham.
All right.
Oh, Celine, you want to come speak?
The awards they have, those are the trophies they got.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. And our future STEMness captain is going to speak on our behalf.
Hello, my name is Celine Hamid, and I'm one of the co-presidents of the Future STEMinist alongside Amy Wang. I'm here to talk about the need for more girls to be enrolled in engineering and robotics classes in our school. Our school has so many opportunities. Our school has so many opportunities, but we don't take advantage of it. Female representation in our school's engineering and robotics classes are currently low. Nationally, less than 20% of robotics degrees are earned by women. A key reason is lack of early exposure. Many girls aren't encouraged to explore engineering until it's too late. High school classes like AP Physics courses, engineering classes, and hands-on robotics labs are crucial entry points. If girls aren't enrolled in these early on, they miss on skill building, confidence, and discovering interests in the field. We need stronger outreach from the counseling department to recommend these courses to female students. We're proposing 2 things: a stronger push from the counseling department to actively recommend these classes to girls during scheduling, and a middle school outreach program to introduce younger students to engineering early on and build interest before high school. Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the purpose of the engineering team and what having this robotics program brings to the school. And so what this program does is it allows opportunities for students with many different types of skills, more than you would just think looking at the robot, to find a spot where they can use their skills collaboratively with other people to solve innovative problems and to work together towards a goal to compete. And this builds teamwork. This cultivates leadership among our student body, and it helps our students find a place to put their skills to use.
And so one thing that our school really does need for our robotics program is we're very limited in access to a proper workshop at our school. In fact, we're limited to 3 or 4 power tools, whereas we're competing against schools and other organizations that have access to multi-$1,000 workshops and other things that Abington is lacking in the present.
Anything else? That's good? Okay. Yeah, they're good. Photo op. Go ahead and you want to take your picture. Put the robot in the middle. Yes, come on, Dr. Mel.
The ghost spot?
The ghost spot.
We should call it
That's awesome.
I can hold that if you can hold that. That's for you. Okay. Did he want to take his home? Thank you. Yay.
Guys, I'm sure the board has some words of encouragement before you leave.
Guys, hang on a second. I think some members of the board want to say something.
I'll, I'll start. I just want to congratulate you on a job well done. From what I'm hearing, this sea perch and what was the other competition that you took place in? FRC. This is the first time. Let's make sure it's not the last. I am so excited. Thank you for your voice. I share those same statistics with my students to promote more inclusivity, more representation in places and spaces like this. So you have set the stage. Continue to invite people to do this work because it's important. Computer science is one of the areas that is growing as far as the job market, not the ones that are being taken away or that we're going to lose. So continue to do this work. And for our teacher leaders, thank you for your sacrifice. I know this takes more than the hours that you may get paid for. Ask me how I know, right? So thank you for the work that you're doing because the smiles on their faces, the culture that you are creating through this, it's amazing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
If I may, congratulations on all of your accomplishments this season. As an educator, I know that authentic application is at the heart of true learning. And I can see how much you've learned and how excited you are to show what you've learned because you've had opportunities to apply your coding knowledge, your problem solving, your collaboration skills, your construction ability to construct this robot and other robots over the course of these past months. And so continue authentically applying the learning that you receive in your STEM courses as well as in all of your other classes because it makes for deeper learning. And so congratulations again, and we look forward to celebrating you for years to come.
And also, before you guys go, as a former science teacher, I'm always thrilled yearly when you guys have science fairs, but this takes it a step, a notch up. I'm glad that you guys are engaged in engineering design challenges. Keep up the good work.
I want to say congratulations, and it's super exciting to see this happening. This is the first year, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in the future and to see how this grows. Continue on with this. I see this in my profession as a medical professional, impacting patients every day, and you guys have the ability to go ahead and do those things in the future and really make a difference in people's lives and how we go about doing things. So it's very, very exciting to see you guys here. Congrats.
I just want to take a moment as a non-board member, as a superintendent, to say that I am extremely proud of what you bring to Abington School District and how you represent us in the community and community beyond. It is an essential skill set that our future needs, and to see it in action is pretty amazing. And I know it takes a lot of hard work, and we've come a very long way. I'm looking at Ms. Yeager from our first sea perch experiences many years ago to now, and I'm really proud to see the work that you did and the work and effort that is put into that. So keep it up and keep learning and making this team and this program stronger.
Yes. Be safe. Yeah, can you imagine? How was the day? Good.
Dr. Mallory, at this time, I would ask that we could continue with our honors this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Fetcher. I don't have my sheet with me, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Tonight, I'm going to ask Dr. Alice Swift to remain and Mr. Charles Grasty, our athletic director, to share highlights from the 2024-2025 winter sports season at Abington Senior High School.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Grasty, our athletic director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, everyone.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Plenty of room for everyone.
How are you?
Yeah, everyone's coming in, and the parents are going to go. Coaches and athletes.
Come on, fill in.
Excuse me.
We should have about. Yeah, we have enough room.
Mr. Neely, come on. We can get you back here. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. Hey, sir. Good.
Good evening, Dr. Fetcher, Dr. Mallory, and members of the Board of School Directors. Tonight, I am very excited and proud to share the outstanding accomplishments of our student athletes, teams, coaches for the winter of 2024-2025. First, I would like to introduce the Abington boys and girls swimming team, who is led by Coach Joe Lennon. The Abington boys and girls swim team had an outstanding season. First, the Abington girls swim team. They had a very successful outing at the PIAA District 1 Championship as they set 4 new school records. These records include the 200 medley relay, which consisted of Ruby Tucker, Julie Chong, Tierney Hill, and Autumn Jessup, with a time of 1 minute and 49 seconds. The girls' swim team also set a school record in the 200 free relay swam by Ruby Tucker, Olivia Kraft, Olivia Capps, and Autumn Jessup. Ruby Tucker set a new school record in the 100 backstroke with a time of 57.63. The fourth record was set in the 400 free relay with a time of 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Autumn Jessup, Olivia Capps, Tierney Hill, and Ruby Tucker are our new record holders in this event. The girls' swim team also received honorable mention, all-league recognition in the 200 medley relay swam by Autumn Jessup, Julie Chong, Tierney Hill, and Ruby Tucker. The District 1 qualifiers and the PIAA state qualifiers were Olivia Capps, Julie Chong, Tierney Hill, and Ruby Tucker. Congratulations to our girls' swim team, as well as Coach Joe Lennon for an outstanding, fun, and exciting season. The boys' records. They were set in the 200 medley relay, which consisted of Brendan Moe, Mike Filimonov, Jack Campbell, and Colin Nash. This placed them 16th in the state of Pennsylvania. The 100 backstroke by Colin Nash also placed him 19th in the state of Pennsylvania. The boys had several athletes receive all league honors. Colin Nash received second team All Liberty Division in the 100 meter backstroke. Jack Campbell, Mike Filimonov, Brendan Moe, and Colin Nash received honorable mentions in the 200 free relay. Jack Campbell, Mike Filimonov, Nicholas Arena, and Colin Nash also received honorable mention in the 200 medley relay. District 1 qualifiers were Jack Campbell, Mike Filimonov, Nicholas Arena, Colin Nash, Brendan Moe, and Jair Leva. Also, Andrew Suit. Jack Campbell, Mike Filimonov, Brendan Moe, and Colin Nash were also PIAA state championship qualifiers. Congratulations to our boys swim team for an exciting season. Next, I would like to introduce the two members of our boys basketball team. The Abington boys basketball team finished their season with an impressive 14-9 record and finished third in the very challenging Suburban 1 Liberty Division. The team made their 14th straight District 1 playoff appearance. 3 members of the boys basketball team were recognized for their accomplishments. Paul Glantz was honorable mention All-League while leading the team in rebounds. Faison Garland, who we have here tonight, was second team All-League and was recognized for his tenacity on defense and his leadership skills. And Xander Grasty was nominated first team by the opposing coaches in the Liberty Division while leading the team in scoring, averaging 14.8 points as a sophomore. We would like to congratulate everyone on the basketball team as well as Coach Marsh for an outstanding season. Next is our girls basketball team, coached by Allison Lawson and assistant Santana Huff. The girls basketball team finished the season with an overall record of 15-13 and an impressive 6-2 in the Liberty Division. Led by second-year head coach at Abington, Allison Lawson, she led the team to District 1 playoffs and won a first-round game with an impressive score of 50-35 over Neshaminy. The girls then made an outstanding run to the state playoffs as the lowest seed out of District 1. 3 players received all-league honors this season for their stellar play. Tonight, we also have junior Shia Crafton and manager William Rivera. Micaiah Durham received second-team All-League. Maya Johnson and Anaya Williams were both selected to the first-team All-League Liberty Division. Maya Johnson also received our Excellence in Athletics Award for the month of December. On December 20th, Maya became the all-time leader in assists at Abington girls basketball history. She dished out 341 assists and counting. Maya contributes positively to the team's success by complimenting her teammates about their work habits, attitudes, and contributions off the court. From Maya about her outstanding accomplishment. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I did not want to change my game. I knew that I had people around me that as long as I got the ball to them in the right places, they would make a basket. Coach Allison Lawson also complimented Maya on her historic accomplishment. She's the floor general. She's the leader. Maya's leadership on and off the court is paramount and will continue to make one of, well, for now, the best to ever assist. Congratulations to our girls basketball. Next, we have boys and girls wrestling. The wrestling team had a successful season led by coaches David Osei, Keyshawn Gilmo, and Dom Collin. They finished their season with a record of 8-9 and had a number of impressive wins this season. Nathan Sanders and Ryan Solomon were first team All-Liberty Division, and John Kaplan and Anthony Marzulli were selected to the second team All-Liberty Division. Bradley Bennett, Elijah Brown, Cash Ferrante, John Kaplan, Anthony Marzulli, Isak Pantano, Nathan Sanders, Jacob Seville, Ryan Solomon, and Nathan Staub were all District 1 qualifiers. In our inaugural season for the girls wrestling program, they finished very successful. There were several top 10 finishes and had an impressive win at the Upper Dublin Invitational. Senior Gracie Clift, junior Julia Keller, Sophomore Michelle Yakupova and freshman Chelsea Camgang worked extremely hard to make this a successful and exciting season. Each one of the wrestlers were District 1 qualifiers in our first season. Very impressive. Michelle Yakupova qualified for the Pennsylvania PIAA State Championship and made it to the coveted Giant Arena in Hershey, PA. Congratulations to our wrestling team for an outstanding season. Next, we have our boys and girls track, led by Coach William Neely and Brian Schaefer. The boys and girls indoor track team had a very successful season and continues to achieve as an outstanding program. The boys and girls had several athletes qualify for the Meet of Champs. These athletes include, in the 4x200, Braden Davis, Jamir McClinton, Caden Humphreys, and Anthony D'Angelo. They qualified with an outstanding run of 133.42. That time earned them a top 18 spot in the entire state. In the 4x400, Anthony D'Angelo, Braden Davis, James Stewart, and Joseph Raggi had a time of 13:28, which placed them 15th in the state. James Stewart finished 12th in the state with a time of 1:59 in the 800-meter run. Jonathan Long had a top 10 finish in the long jump at 21 feet and 3/4 inches. Our girls had several personal bests, starting with the distance medley relay. Mercedes Sandoval, and Anna Tetzloff, Audrey Flitter, and Malaya Reed placed 14th in the state with a time of 14:16. Kalia Woodridge, Layla Brown, Asia Prosser, and Ella Swanyoung finished 20th in the 4x200 meter relay. Hannah Winters finished 13th with a time of 8:10 in the 60-meter dash, and Ella Swanyoung 19th with a time of 8:19. Ella Swanyoung also had an impressive 200-meter dash time of 26.29, which placed her 16th in the state. Congratulations to our boys and girls indoor track team. I have one more. Last but not least, we have boys and girls bowling. Abington boys bowling finished the season with an overall record of 8-6 in the Liberty Division. The girls finished 9-5 overall. Dion Hunter received first team All-League honors, Grace Elliott received second team All-League, and Olivia Renzi received honorable mention All-League for the Liberty Division. Dion Hunter finished the season with a 206 average. That is up 7 pins from last year. He had the highest game in the league at 279 and the second highest series at 733. Dion competed in the Eastern Regional Championships for the second time. Grace Elliott finished the year with a 146 average, which is a 20-pin increase over the last year. She was 7th in the league in average. She had the 8th highest game with a 203 and the 5th highest series at 565. Grace had an outstanding season, as did Dion and Olivia. Congratulations to our 2024-25 boys and girls bowling team. I would also like to thank you for your continued support of our Abington student athletes.
Thank you very much. A lot of excitement in our athletics. I want to first compliment our students, not only for their talents, but the effort it takes to perfect those talents and have these accomplishments. I would be remiss also to thank our parents and guardians for your support. I know as a parent of high school athletes, the time and dedication that it takes for an entire family to support that pursuit. And we appreciate that and appreciate the efforts of our students on a 7-day-a-week commitment to these athletics. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now that I have my mic back, I want to personally thank our student athletes. I see now why Bryson's list was so long. And also thank Dr. Fetcher for acknowledging the contributions that our parents and guardians make. As a former parent of student athletes, it's a big lift. So we thank them for their time, as well as commend our athletes for their accomplishments. I don't know if he's still in the room or not. I wanted to acknowledge a special guest at the board meeting tonight, Wyatt the Great. Is he still here? Did he leave? Oh, there he is. Okay. I occasionally get emails from Wyatt, and they're delightful. So welcome to the meeting, Wyatt.
Thank you, Dr. Maui. It is my honor to be here with everybody. Feels good to be here with all the athletes. I've been an athlete for straight years with Coach Neely, and it's my honor to thank all his support, what we did for him. Now, for our future, we are going to do, I want to do what's right for everybody. I want to just, even though something may get hard, just keep pushing it, keep fighting for it. Fighting for your lives, like do this for you, do it for your family, inspire yourself. That's why I came here today, to inspire everyone. Really miss some people here. But I'm finally glad, and I want to thank Dr. Swift for everything she's did for us with Alex Rosa and Alex Rosa and me and Dr. Swift and for the quotes.
Thank you, Wyatt, for
And
your
the
words of
greatest
inspiration.
the greatest moment in the history of Abington starts now, and we'll keep inspiring Dr. Mary and Dr. Fetcher. I do appreciate all the time he's done. And thank you, everybody. This is my pleasure to be here. Congratulate to Coach Neely on the sports athletic, and thank you to Mr. Grassi. Really appreciate what you did. Well, thank you for honoring us. It is my honor. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Wyatt. That's going to be a hard act to follow. With that, we will move on to the next section of our meeting, which includes comments from citizens. Comments from citizens are being conducted both in person and by phone. The phone number to participate in public comments is 267-715-2717 and is being displayed on the screen at this time. You'll be able to join the meeting by calling in on your mobile or landline phone. Citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes apiece, and time may not be ceded by one citizen to another. If there's anyone present who would like to make a comment, please use the microphone either to the right or to the left.
Hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much.
Please state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Tammy Skversky, and I live at 1502 Hilltop Terrace in Huntington Valley.
Thank you.
I am here to help advocate on behalf of the robotics team. You actually met my son earlier. He's the one who introduced the robot. And I'm here because I really didn't know what that experience would be like when he first suggested he wants to join this team. And in fact, I listened to him talk about the robot, and I really didn't know where this was going. And until the first competition. And I must say, I walked into something unexpected. This was ESPN level stuff. I mean, this was televised. They had cheerleaders and they had cameras, and there was so much activity, and the kids were so engaged and so excited about this that I was just thrilled. Oh, sorry, of course someone is calling me. So sorry. But I just think I want to speak a little about what it takes to be part of this competition. Oh, I'm so sorry, of course. And what it actually is. So First Robotics Competition is an international event. And I want to note that there is in 2024, there was 3,460 teams from 20 countries, and 86,000 students were involved in this. And the fact that our team participated and they actually got an award, I mean, there were a lot of teams there, and they managed to do this on a very scrappy, bare bones budget. So for this to continue at Abington, we have to invest in this program. Now, I know that resources are scarce and there has to be a return on investment for something like this. I'm not advocating for specific dollars right now. I just want to talk about what this program provides. It provides hands-on STEM learning. Obviously, you all mentioned this, that this is transferable skills directly from what they're doing into actual jobs in STEM, in the fields that are in high demands, robotics, coding, etc. It is college and career prep. I want to note that this program first specifically, there's over 80 million in scholarships that are allocated for different colleges and STEM programs that folks can get that participate, and there's also mentorship available. It is obviously 21st century skills. We all know AI is coming, but this helps with leadership, critical thinking, and everything else is STEM related. There is, as the ladies that were up here before mentioned, there's proven engagement and equity. Robotics programs increase engagement from girls and women in STEM and other underrepresented groups. And obviously there's pride and recognition. I think, they were literally the same way my sons also participate in sports, the same way we are proud of our soccer program or our swim program. This is that kind of competition. And I don't want our kids to miss out because of this, the school board, there are competing priorities, but there are some investments that need to be made. As you can see, they require tools, they require a workshop. These robots, you should have seen some of the other robots. They were like elevating and hovering.
Thank you for your voice. Please take a seat. Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Ellie Dennis, and I am a 7th grader at the Abington Middle School. Now, there are many problems at the middle school, but such as the ceilings are cracked and crumbling. The tiles fall consistently during classes, and that's distracting for our learning. Some of the rooms are extremely hot. Some of the rooms are extremely cold. Overall, the school is in not great shape. But my main concern is the active shooter problem. When this school was built, it was a time when shooters were not an issue. But now times have changed, and they are. And we need to have a school that has the right design to help this. Because in our hallways, not only are they extremely cramped, the walls to the outside are entirely made of glass. If someone were to shoot from the outside, we would be extremely vulnerable and susceptible, and we would not have anywhere to go because the hallways are so crowded. If we were to get a new school, it wouldn't just benefit me. But I also have a little sister, and I want her to not have to face the anxiety and fear that I do every day going to school. And it won't just be my sister benefiting from this. It will be all the children in our community because they are our future. Please vote yes for the new middle school on May 20th.
If members in the audience could hold their applause, that would be helpful. Ellie, thank you for your voice and also for speaking up on behalf of your little sister. Our next, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tara Ng. I'm on Gregory Road. I'm here to second everything that Tammy said about the robotics program. I had the opportunity to go watch the first competition, and I was absolutely amazed by how well our team performed, especially considering the relatively small budget they had to work with. What stood out to me the most was how the competition is structured to foster teamwork. Each round involves teams from 3 different schools collaborating to earn the most points, competing against other 3-team alliances. This format teaches our students how to strategize, problem solve, and adapt quickly in a fast-paced environment. It's incredible to see how this hands-on experience is shaping their skills and confidence. I was also impressed by the positive atmosphere of the event. Students from schools all over the region were friendly, eager to offer advice, share tips, and even lend equipment to our Abington rookie team. They didn't even have a cart to pull their robot on, and I think someone from Horsham gave them a cart, which was so nice. It really reinforced how collaboration and support are essential to success, and I know with robust support from the district, our robotics team can excel even further in competitions. This is not just about winning, it's about providing our students with invaluable real-life experiences that will benefit them both personally and professionally. Also, I would like to ask, I don't know if he's here, but if Mr. File would consider allowing our dedicated robotics team lead teacher, Miss Yeager, she's fabulous, to sponsor a middle school robotics club so that Abington can build continuity and better prepare our students, especially the girls, we need to get them involved, to excel in future competitions, ultimately bringing Abington international recognition. If there are any barriers to making this happen, I'd welcome the opportunity to have a conversation with Mr. File to discuss how we can overcome them. And I forgot in the beginning to say congratulations to the robotics team, all the athletes, and to thank the students for speaking up tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Anyone else?
Joseph O'Brien, 221 Roslyn Avenue in Glenside. I had to talk to the robotics team for a minute because I'm in the middle of a project of automating my snowblower because I don't like the cold. So I want to train it to do it by itself. So I told them if they want to come over and see what I'm doing, they're more than welcome. But I have a question for the school board. Under your referendum, the cost per square foot of a new school is $844 per square foot. Yet, adjusted for inflation, you rebuilt 93% of the high school and added over 127,000 square feet for $311 a square foot. Can anybody explain to me the difference, why it's over 2 times the cost?
Does that conclude your comment for this evening?
Well, I'd like an answer.
Does that conclude your comment for this evening?
No, I'd like an answer.
This is not an exchange. This is an opportunity for you to share your thoughts with the board. Does that conclude your comment for this evening?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your voice. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Eileen Denton. Sorry. And I live on Moreland Road in Abington. I wanted to come to speak in support of the new middle school proposal. There's been a lot of conversation online, which, while it's accessible to everybody, and this forum may not be, it's just not a great place to have meaningful conversation. But a couple of things that have come up with the conversations online is, one, people are saying, well, can we see the plans for this building? And obviously, I'm not privy to what happens on that side, but I will say, architectural plans, especially for a building as complicated as a middle school, are not free. So it's not sort of something that like an architect will be like, here you go, I'll just give you these to check out. That's a big cost that is part of the entire process. I can explain the difference between adding on to something versus a new building. It's definitely going to be way more expensive per square foot to build a new building versus adding on to something that's already there. However, the one expense a lot of people don't mention when they say we should just renovate is that there's things that can be found when you're renovating that you have no idea exist. We talk about the problems that we can see. There's a lot of problems that cannot be seen. I have not lived in Abington my whole life, so I did look up and I noticed that Overlook, Highland, and Roslyn were all rebuilt when they were around 70-something years old. As we know, the middle school is 60 years old. By the time the new middle school is built, we'll be very close to that 70 years old. And like I said, I haven't lived here, so I don't know the timeline. But basically, that puts this in perspective historically in my research, what has been done in the past. The other thing is schools need spaces for things that couldn't even have been imagined back in 1964. When you talk about the robotics team, wiring a building for Wi-Fi, the electricity, all of those things. I mean, back then, I don't think they were using like punch. I don't even think punch code thingies were available at that time for computers, sorry. So those are things that building is equipped to handle. Being able to build things like having STEM labs for robotics and things like that, that's going to increase the ability to have that in the high school because you've got kids coming up that had the opportunity to do that in the middle school, and now they can continue to do it into the high school. Again, so I'm saying, yes, I will vote for 100% for the new middle school, and I encourage more middle school students and high school students to come to the meeting and share their experiences, which I think that's probably more meaningful than anything us adults could say. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Anyone else in the room?
Hi, I'm Michelle Cooper. Can you hear me? Thank you. I'm Michelle Cooper, Kingsley Road, and I'm a proud parent and community member here in Abington. The district is engaged in a transparent, inclusive, thorough process beginning as early as November 2023 to determine the best path forward for our middle school. After years of study, public meetings, community input, and careful financial planning, the answer is clear: our kids need a new building. And yet, despite the facts, we're now seeing misinformation cloud the conversation. The truth is, if this referendum fails, there is no backup plan. The district will be forced to redirect funds away from academic programs and into costly temporary repairs of a 60-year-old structure that no longer meets today's standards. The students and ultimately our community will pay the price. Voting no doesn't just delay construction. It compromises student safety, it undermines educational opportunity, and it sends a harmful message about what we value in public education. As the Learning Policy Institute and numerous studies have shown, a student's physical environment significantly affects their academic achievement, health, and emotional well-being. When we fail to invest in safe, modern, and equitable facilities, we are failing our students and their potential. The vote is more about than just bricks and taxes. It's about believing in the promise of our children and in the power of public education. Supporting this referendum isn't just about today, it's about keeping Abington strong tomorrow. When we invest now, we prevent bigger costs later. We preserve our property values, our schools, and the kind of community we want to be. This isn't just a vote for a school, it's a vote for the future of Abington. Vote yes on May 20th. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Is there anyone else in the room?
Sorry. Carol Godfrey, 1021 Devon Road, Jenkintown. That's Abington Township. Once again, I would like to encourage the community to vote yes to build a new middle school. Over the past 2 weeks, I went to the township building, actually 3 different times to pay my taxes. I forgot something, had to go back. 2 of the times I was confronted by 2 people who wanted to tell me why I should vote no for the new middle school. Both times I asked these people if they had taken a tour of the middle school, and they all said no. I suggested that they take the tour of the building so that they could see for themselves just what the condition of the building is. Even on the tour last week, one of the people, the tour at the middle school last week, one of the people that was handing out vote no literature, they told me they had not even taken the tour, and he was standing right there in the middle of the lobby of the middle school. So I know there's even a virtual tour that can be taken, so that's a good thing. The building was not built for middle school students. It was built in 1964 for 9th and 10th graders, which is a big difference from the 5th, 6th, and 7th graders that are there now. The airflow and ventilation needs to be improved, which would be healthier for the kids. New heating and air conditioning systems would greatly reduce energy costs and maintenance costs. And there's 1 large gym and 2 smaller gyms that have no air conditioning. And have you ever been in a gym without air conditioning when it's 80 degrees outside? The inside temperature in these gyms is horrible for the students during their PE classes and after school games. Also, I am sure that we can all agree that state-of-the-art safety features that's already been mentioned tonight is a huge concern and greatly needed in this day and age. Only the construction of a new building can achieve what is needed for our Abington children and grandchildren. I have recently visited Colonial Middle School in Plymouth Meeting, Sandy Run Middle School in Upper Dublin, and Elkins Park Middle School in Cheltenham. I was at basketball games for my grandchildren. And talk about beautiful state-of-the-art buildings. If residents have the opportunity to go see these buildings, just drive by them. In closing, as a Realtor, I would encourage the residents to keep in mind that better schools will make Abington an even more desirable place to live and in turn raise our property values. Let's all vote yes for the middle school referendum for the wonderful children and grandchildren in Abington Township. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Anyone else in the room?
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Rooney. I live in Ardsley. Thanks for having me tonight. Thank you for everybody coming. And please, you're always allowed to clap. These guys can't make you not clap. So if you like something that one of these girls or guys say, you're welcome to do it. They can't stop you. All right? So I'm here for all of the people who are watching, who may be in the audience. And I want to say right now that we're here to represent Vote No. And Vote No is a caution to say we need a better plan and we need a better idea where $250 million is going to be spent. So we had a great opportunity to look at the high school on Saturday. They had the Wizards there. It was a wonderful afternoon. They did a beautiful job renovating that safe high school. You can't walk through it and not say, wow, this is bright and new looking. And it was built, I think, in 1956. My parents helped build that thing. And you can look at what's in the gym and what's everywhere and go, wow, there's something there. The other thing that I want to say is, I'm not sure that the district, and certainly not the school directors, learned anything from that $121 million project, okay? Because there is much to learn about what went right and what went wrong. And we didn't seem to have any discussions of that during this whole planning process. In fact, in 2022, somebody mentioned it before, there was actually a complete renovation plan, hired professional engineers to go in and modify the middle school. That was just thrown out. There are alternatives, don't worry about that. So I want to highlight one thing. It's on item 13 of the agenda today. And that is the maintenance section where the construction repairs and costs. The last three items on there talk about roof repairs on the high school. There was an initial one, it was a $465,000 contract to Munn Roofing, and that was done in 21 and 22. Then in 21-22, there was another $866,000 contract. The 465 was completed for $465,000. The $866,000 contract cost $2,316,000. Have we made that plan? Here's the third one. It's really curious, though. Because in August of 2024, there was a $69,000 contract, and it was made to T. Schaefer Construction Company, and they're in Doylestown. The crazy thing is, Schaefer Construction Company is a paving and concrete and excavating company. They did a roof job. Well, I don't think that's actually true. That was put in January, and it's been carried through. I know you all have looked at it because you prepare carefully for these meetings. So I don't really understand that. Either that's a mistake, that isn't a roofing job, or it needs further explanation, somebody should say it. The reason that I bring that up is we have $285 million. Here's three different roofings. There's multiple questions about why did we start at $866,000 and end up at $2.3 million? Where's the $69,000?
Thank you for your voice. Your time is up. Please take a seat.
Construction company actually
Please
going,
take a
and why
seat.
did we log
Please
it
take
that
a
way?
seat. Cut his mic.
Take our time and make the right decision. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Time's up, dude.
Louder.
Time's up.
Louder.
Time's up. Sit down. Tell him you sit down. You shut up.
Well, let's not take it too far in here because
All right, folks, settle down.
let's all stay positive.
We all live in the same community. Anyone else in the room care to make a comment?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. My name's Megan Zamborski, and I live on Homecrest Road. I have 3 students in the district, 2 currently at the middle school and 1 in elementary school. My kids will be well past their middle school years by the time the proposed school would be built, but I wholeheartedly support the district's plan. I teach my children that we all do better when we all do better. And I can't think of a better example of that than the middle school building that would benefit the whole community. The current building is far past its lifespan and is no longer a space that can support effective learning. Future students and their teachers deserve a building that is modern, safe, compliant, and designed for today's educational models. I want my tax dollars to show our current and future Abington students, teachers, staff, and families that we invest in public education. To anyone who is unsure of how they will vote, or any families who may not be as involved in what happens in the school district, especially those with young children, I ask that you please do your research on the referendum and how we got here. The district has taken years to research and present their facilities plan. They enlisted experts in the field to help determine the best course of action and how best to serve our students. They gave the community multiple chances to voice input. If you haven't been able to follow along every step of the way, and I know it's tedious, but all of the research and data is available for you to view at any time on the district's website. If you want to get your information elsewhere, please consider your sources of information. Ask yourself, is this coming from those who send or sent their children through Abington schools? Those who have taught or worked in Abington schools, especially the middle school, who volunteer or spend time inside the building during the day? As Carol mentioned, have they even been in the building? If you don't have any of these people to talk to or don't know any current families or students, I volunteer myself and my family. Surprise to my family. A strong community doesn't happen by accident. It is made up by a collection of choices. On May 20th, please make the choice to vote yes on the referendum to invest in our community's future. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. We do have a couple of callers on the line. I'm going to go to those calls and then I'll return to the room, if that's okay, Mr. Kargas.
Yes, this is Dr. Mallory. The next citizen for public comment is phone number ending in 1637. Please state your full name and address.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Can you state your name and address, please?
Oh, Kira Myers, 1060 Maple Avenue, Glenside.
Thank you, Kira. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, I'm Kira Myers. I'm a sixth grader at the Abington Middle School. So, I was in seventh period, which is my math class. I walk in and it feels like a sauna. And no, I'm not being dramatic or exaggerating. I checked the thermostat and it was 88 degrees Fahrenheit. We had to move to a science classroom, which wasn't much better, but it wasn't 88 degrees either. I also want to talk about lockdown drills. I feel extremely unsafe during these drills. If you think we should vote no, you should try a lockdown drill yourself. It's very unsafe with the halls open, with windows peering into the classrooms. I've seen the posts and stuff. I saw that you guys put simple repair about a lot of stuff. But no, not everything is a simple repair. The cockroach infestation isn't a simple repair. The nasty bathrooms aren't a simple repair. The unsafe classrooms aren't a simple repair. My point is, we need a new middle school. It will provide a safer, cleaner, and better education for future middle schoolers.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kira. All right, folks. Mr. Kargas.
The next citizen for public comment is phone number ending in 1965. Please state your full name and address.
Yes, hi. Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Henrik.
I'm sorry, can you say your name again?
Henrik Wies.
Henrik Wies.
Did you get it?
I go to Overlook.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Vote yes for my future.
This is Henrik Wies. He goes to Overlook. He's a kindergartner, and he's asking you to vote yes for his future.
Thank you, Henrik.
You're welcome.
Have a good night. All right. With that, we'll return to comments in the room. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jen Pertel. I live in Glenside. I actually wanted to sort of circle back to the beginning of the meeting and just say I'm so proud of all those kids, the robotics team, the athletes, the teachers that helped them, the parents that supported them, and the planning that went into making all of their achievements possible. It's a credit to them all and pretty impressive to see. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'll just bend down. Hi, my name is Tim Myers. I live on Maple Avenue in Glenside. I came here tonight to try and encourage everyone to vote yes on May 20th for the new middle school. Last spring, the district offered a tour of the middle school with the facilities director and the engineer. My wife and I went on the tour, and quite frankly, it was incredibly eye-opening. Going around the facility, seeing the HVAC system, seeing the bathrooms, seeing the tiles, the doors, the radiators, everything is in need of repair in this building. It's not ADA compliant. Any repairs or any renovations have to thus be brought up to ADA compliance code before everything is completed, which costs additional time, money, expenses, resources, etc. I don't see how you can go on a tour of this middle school, look at all the facilities, talk to the facilities manager, see their challenges, and come up with anything besides that building needs to be torn down and, you know, a new building built. I don't see any other conclusion here. To me, it's a very logical next step. They have a lot of challenges. Some of the materials that they use are no longer manufactured anymore. For example, I believe some of the radiators, if they have to replace, they don't have replacement parts. Some of those companies don't exist anymore. They have to manufacture and kind of, you know, jerry-rig their own parts. To me, that's crazy. And we're putting our kids in this dump of a building and asking them to learn and asking teachers to try and teach these kids in this facility that is not built for the amount of kids that are in there. It's overcrowded. It's not safe. I just don't think that there's any sane person, any logical person that could come up with any sort of conclusion besides that we need a new facility. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Edmonds, address 808 Cedar Glen Road, affectionately known as Bryson's mom. I am just here to go on record to encourage my neighbors to invest in our community and vote yes for a new middle school, simply because it is absolutely necessary and needed. And I trust and know that our school board has done a phenomenal job of giving us the best options. We have the options in front of us. We have the information that we need. And all we need now is to vote yes, to invest in our community and invest in our children. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Also, nice job, Mom.
All right, me next. I just want to remind everyone here that everyone who's sitting in this room cares about our community and the future of our community. Even though it might seem like you're not agreeing at all times, everyone here who's taking the time out of their day, the time out of their night, out of a Tuesday night to come and spend their time at this school board meeting cares about this community and cares about everyone living in it, cares about the kids in the middle school. And I know it's a big issue right now, like polarization of different views, and it just causing people to fight and get angry with each other, which is not the reaction that should be coming from this. We all are looking to achieve a common goal. Even if it's not the same approach, we're all here for the same thing. So I just feel like all of our communication should be, you know, rooted in love, because it's all through love for this community and love for each other. So I just wanted to remind people about that.
Thank you for reminding us that we're all neighbors, Bryson. Go ahead, Wyatt.
And I believe in everything that we're going through right now. So I say that yes, let's vote no May 20th. So as a positivity quote, I want to share, if no one has been going through it, I will be the first certain. And Dr. Swift will be the first certain too, to help me out. If you're good at something, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And also, if you believe it, believe you can, and you're halfway there. And your head's tilted down, I'll say this. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. And our future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams and the Belize City Abington feature. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fail. So now let's get out and vote for Abington, and we will make our district, we will show the state that we're doing something. Let's make this great district and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Wyatt. The Great. I beg your pardon. Thank you, Wyatt the Great.
Wyatt the Great, and I approve this message.
All right, is there anyone else in the room? Okay.
Hi, I'm Jess Myers, and I live in Ardsley. I'm here to encourage my neighbors, my friends. Please vote yes to invest in a new middle school for these children. As a mom of a middle schooler, it's pretty frightening how unsafe the building feels when you walk through it, not just in an active shooter drill, but God forbid if there were a fire. These kids have no way to get to the outside of the building from these interior classrooms. It's really scary. So I would just like to reiterate how unsafe I feel that these classrooms are. And I appreciate the fact that the board is working to make that better for our kids. Safety should be paramount always. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. I think we'll conclude this round of public comments. There is another session at the end of the agenda items. So if you didn't get a chance to talk this time, you can certainly offer your thoughts then. Dr. Fetcher, could I just ask you to clarify something about the cost per square foot for the proposed middle school? The construction cost per square foot?
So what I would invite anyone to do on the one ASD, onefuture.org, there's a button on the first page that says get the facts project cost breakdown.
Okay.
And as you go on to that breakdown, it explains what percentages of the project are for what components.
Okay.
So construction square footage prices versus the entire project.
Okay. So in other words, if I understand you correctly, the cost of the bond covers more than the construction cost.
Correct. And that's everything's listed on this page, and it also explains that 87.4% of the total project cost is for construction and demolition.
Okay.
Demolition as well, it is important to note that we did not have to do any demolition during the
Right.
Abington Senior High School project.
Right. Okay. I just want to offer my board members a chance if they have any thoughts or responses to public comment, first section of public comment. No? Okay. Ms. Wu? Okay. All right. With that, we will move on to Mr. Kargas. Am I correct? There are no callers on the line, yes?
You are correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will move on to the approval of minutes.
May I
Mrs.
read?
Brown.
Yes, Madam President. That the Board of School Directors approve the minutes of the board meeting on March 11, 2025, and the board meeting on March 25th, 2025.
Second.
Dr. Fetcher, we have a second? Oh, this is a voice vote. I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Mrs. Brown, can you please read the recommendation for approval of the personnel addenda?
Yes, that the Board of School Directors approves the changes in personnel as reflected in Personnel Addenda numbers 7.1 and 7.1A, and the confidential addendum number 7.1AB.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. The personnel addendum begins with a request for leaves of absence for 4 professional employees, change of status for 1 professional staff member, and compensation for IEP meetings, interpreter and translation services, board presentations, and parent meetings. I bring your attention to the retirements of Ms. Donna Czar, an elementary art teacher at McKinley School, who has served the district for 30 years. Also, I bring your attention to Ms. Linda Iolucci, a paraprofessional at Abington Middle School who has served the district for 34 years. Ms. Amy Ludwig, a paraprofessional at Abington Senior High School who has served the district for 25 years. And Ms. Barbara Taroni, a staff nurse at Abington Senior High School who has served the district for 17 years. I also bring your attention to the resignation of Dr. Matthew Harris, our Supervisor of Fine Arts, who has accepted a leadership position with the Delaware County Intermediate Unit. We thank him for his service to the arts and ASD. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you to Mr. Harris for his service for the district, to the district. It's been exemplary. And congratulations to our retirees. There's a lot of institutional knowledge there. We wish them well in their next chapter. Any other comments from my fellow board members?
I just wanted to add for Miss Czar at McKinley, she's been an art teacher for all three of my children, and thanks to her, each one of them had the opportunity to shine artistically, whether it be at one of our district art exhibits, in the hallways at school, getting the Westie Award, which was after her dog. That my kids always loved, the Westie Art Award. And then also for showcasing and utilizing Abington Library to showcase more of our students and put them on the community light. So wishing her and the rest of the well-earned retirees a wonderful time, and thank you for your service to the district and to our children.
Anyone else? No, Ms. Wu?
I just want to say thank you to Ms. Czar because she was my art teacher in
Aw.
elementary school, and she was probably like the biggest reason why I continue to do art until now.
That's lovely. All right. With that, Mrs. Flanagan, this is a roll call vote.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. Mrs. Brown, can you please read the recommendation for payment of bills?
Yes, that the Board of School Directors approve the payment of bills for the period ending February 28th, 2025, as reflected in the addendum number 8.1.
Second.
Dr. Fetcher, we have a second.
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the payment of bills.
Okay. Questions? No? Ms. Wu? Okay. I'm trying not to leave you out. All right, Mrs. Flanagan, this also is a roll call vote.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. Mrs. Brown, would you please read the recommendation for permits for use of buildings and grounds?
Yes, that the Board of School Directors approves the application for permits for use of buildings and grounds as reflected in addendum number 9.1.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. The permit addendum continues to reflect requests for buildings and grounds for meetings and other school events for this time of year.
Okay. Questions or comments from the board? No? Okay. Mrs. Flanagan, also a roll call vote.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. Mrs. Brown, can you please read the recommendation for awards of contracts?
Yes, Madam President, that the Board of School Directors approves the awards of contracts as reflected in addendum number 10.1.
Second.
Dr. Fetcher?
Thank you, Dr. Mowry. Tonight, for your consideration, we have 2 awards of contracts, 1 rejection of bid, and 1 Montgomery County School Entities Joint Purchasing Agreement. First is for floor replacement at McKinley Elementary School, and the funds for this project are available through our Series 2024 General Obligation Bonds, as well as the Public School Facilities Improvement Grant. Next is rejection of bid and contract for 2 replacement 72-passenger student transportation buses. Essentially, the first contract that we entered into. We were not pleased with the product and rejected that contract, and today are replacing that with 2 different 72-passenger student buses.
Okay.
And finally is our Montgomery County School Entities Joint Purchasing, and that is for unleaded gasoline and diesel fuels for 2025, 2026.
Okay. I just want to thank the district for its work in securing grants to help us with some of these projects. I know that makes a difference to the budget. Questions or comments from the board? Nothing? It's another roll call vote, Mrs. Flanagan.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it and the motion passes. Mrs. Brown, would you please read the recommendation for election of the MCIU board representative?
Yes, that the Board of School Directors nominate Mr. Brian Allen as its representative to the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors for a 3-year term beginning July 1st, 2025.
Second.
Are you sure?
I had to think about it.
legal?
It's questionable.
Questions or comments from the board?
Thank you for your service. I get to go to the MCIU a lot, and I see your face and Dr. Fetcher's face posted on the walls. So thank you for representing the school district and continuing that partnership.
Thanks. I shared that picture was taken a few pounds ago and a few years ago, but thanks for acknowledging it.
I'll second that gratitude. Anyone else? All right, Mrs. Flanagan, if you would, please.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye. Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it, Mr. Allen. You're in for another year.
Can I keep the same picture?
Oh, it's a 3-year term? Okay, all right. Okay, Mrs. Brown, would you please read the recommendation for settling the assessment appeal?
Yes, Madam President, that the Board of School Directors authorizes the settlement stipulation agreement regarding the assessment appeal of the property located at 801 Old York Road, Abington, Montgomery County, as submitted to the board.
Second.
Dr. Fetcher.
Keeping in mind the confidentiality of litigation matters, Mr. Donahue is here this evening and can answer any questions that you may have.
Questions or comments from the board? No? Okay. You're off the hook, Mr. O'Donoghue. Mrs. Flanagan, if you would, please.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Dr. Fetcher, are there any additional reports and recommendations by the administration and yourself?
Yes, Dr. Mowry. I provide the conference attendance and professional leaves and the capital improvement projects report for your information.
Okay. Any questions or comments from my fellow board members?
I just love to see all the opportunities that are afforded to our students through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah.
Accompanying students to all kinds of opportunities.
Absolutely. And we are always grateful to our teachers for representing the district so ably. All right. That brings us to any other business that may be brought to the attention of the Board of School Directors. Anyone? No? Okay. That takes us to our second and final session of comments from citizens. So once again, comments from citizens are being conducted both in person and by phone. The phone number to participate is being displayed on the screen, and it is 267-715-3717. You'll be able to join the meeting by calling in on your mobile or landline phone. And once again, a reminder that each citizen is restricted to 3 minutes per session of comments, and time may not be ceded by one citizen to another. So with that, we will open the floor again for anyone wishing to make a comment.
Hello. My name's Joe Dunn. I live in Jenkintown on Zane Avenue. I didn't intend on saying a darn thing tonight, but I was very impressed by the robotic stuff and this whole thing about voting for the school. And I thought that it seems like they could really use a lot more money to do what they want to do. And I think the best way to do it would be to save probably, I guess, millions of dollars and redo the school, which I did go around and see. So I was just asked by numerous people home who are watching, and after seeing Mr. Rooney shout it down and the expert opinion that followed, to give him my time.
You may not cede your time to another citizen.
Okay. Well, then I say vote no to invest in the kids so that budget can have a lot more money to put towards things that really will help educate them. And thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you for your voice.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Palmer, and I live on Carmet Road. First, I would just like to congratulate all of the students who were celebrated this evening and acknowledge the bravery of every student who stood up and spoke tonight. I would also like to acknowledge the bravery of the 50 middle school students who participated in the Day of Silence on Friday, and to thank the district for allowing these students to express themselves freely in their school. I was happy to see some updated information on the One ASD website regarding the plans for the new middle school. The percentage breakdown of the project costs and explanations as to the next steps should the referendum pass reinforce my intention to vote yes on May 20th. We heard from an award-winning robotics team this evening, and we also heard about the needs they have to keep excelling as a team. And I just want to point out that if the middle school referendum does not pass on May 20th, funds that could be going towards these types of educational programs may instead be diverted to the constant upkeep of a building that is failing, because that will be the only option remaining. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your voice.
You're so right.
Is there anyone else in the room?
Hi, my name is Eileen Denton. I live on Moreland Road in Abington. I'll keep this very brief. This does not have to do with the middle school. It has to do with the high school. I just wanted to just speak out again in support of not cutting the budget for the high school library any further. I know that that has been cut, and I just want to speak as a youth services librarian that the high school library media center, they need to serve two purposes. One is to support the teachers with the curriculum, have materials that support the curriculum, have databases available for students to use, teach kids how to do research, all of those things. But another equally important part that they serve is they serve the students' interests. And we've had conversation at this meeting when we talked about the reading scores about how important it is to foster a love of learning. And the way that you do that, speaking as a professional here, is that you find books that really hook students' interests. And that requires, unfortunately, money. I will say the library I work at, we have to weed books a couple times a year because I don't have enough room for all of them. And because we are a nonprofit and we're not affiliated with the township, I was able to donate 10 boxes of young adult books to the library today, but that shouldn't be necessary. I'm happy to do that I can give it to some place where I see where it benefits. And then the second part of that is having all those great resources there requires trained staff. And I know we have great paraprofessionals there that support the librarian, but there is just no substitute for a professional teacher librarian to provide guidance and encouragement to young people as they're trying to figure out what they like to read and all of those things that we have talked about being so important to reading scores and lifelong readers. So please just consider that moving forward, that you keep that budget. Please don't cut it any further. And please consider returning that second full-time teacher librarian to the high school library. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. I'll take one more comment in the room, and then we'll go to people who are calling in. Go ahead.
Hi, Jen Pertel. I live in Glenside. I wanted to speak in support of the referendum to build a new middle school. I wanted to clarify that we do not have a choice between spending money on the middle school or not spending money. That is not the situation and the options that we are facing. We have to invest a significant amount of money in the middle school in the near future. The question is, what do we want to get out of that investment? It has been mentioned several times tonight, and it is clear to anyone who's been in the middle school that the current building is old, obsolete, unsafe, undersized for the number of students enrolled, and in need of many, and in many cases, expensive repairs and system replacements. These facts will not be changed by our decision on May 20th. What will be decided is how we utilize the big investment we will be making either way. So do we want our money spent on patching up the current inadequate building, leaving the students and teachers to deal with the results of an expensive patch job, which would be a school that has had repairs, but that does not address many of the real and practical issues and limitations of the current building? And the teachers, students, and staff will be left to deal with the chaos and disruption of going to school during construction and going to class in modular classrooms, and the construction which could take up almost 2 years. Or we invest approximately 8% more. For my family, that would be about $10 to $11 more a month, to invest in a brand new school designed for and sized for the Abington School District of today, the best practices of education for today and for the future. And in addition to the new building, we would end up with new improved sports facilities and fields that would be affected by the construction, and improved roads and parking lots in the school. And I don't know if anybody, beyond being in the building, if you've ever dropped off or picked up a kid at the middle school, that almost alone is worth it. We have a great plan. I encourage everyone to look at the One ASD, One Future website. And because I believe in our kids, our teachers, our staff, and our community are worth investing in, I will be a yes to invest on May 20th. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Mr. Kargas, we will go to callers on the line now.
The next citizen for public comment is phone number ending in 3984. Please state your full name and address.
Hi, this is Mike Schlagenhofer. I'm on Rosemont Lane. Just a couple of things I wanted to say. First, Madam President, your microphone works very well. You're a little close to it, though, for the viewing audience tonight.
Sorry.
That's okay. Second, I just want to address the idea of public comment. This is public comment. It's not public question and answer. So when you make a comment, you don't expect you shouldn't expect the board to respond to you. This is public comment. Second, or finally, I just want to address the proposal for the new school. First, I want to thank the young lady that stood up and talked about pushing for a new school, for not even for her, but for her sister, not just for some of the reasons that she said was cold in some rooms, hot in some rooms, but the active shooter, the fact that it's not active shooter ready, as sad as that is, I appreciate it, and I thank her for standing up. And that's, a terrible reality of what she has to deal with, but it is a reality. I'd also like to point out, I think it's great that I think it was Ellen or possibly Eileen who pointed out by the time the school is built, it will be 70 years old, 70. And so I think that's something to take into consideration is what, at that point, we should start thinking about building a new school, or should we do it now so that by the time it would have reached 70 years old, our kids in the neighborhood, in the township have a place, a better place, top of the line place to go. Finally, just to address the square footage, price per square footage that I've been hearing constantly. I see it online. I see it in these meetings. And the discrepancy between, 300 or 800 square foot between Hatboro and Abington. If you want to do it right, you can go to One ASD, One Future, and you can look at, this involves building a new school, tearing down an old school, repositioning the sports fields, building a parking lot, take all of those square footage of demolishing the old school, building a new school, whatever the length or the area of the football fields and parking lots, and see if that changes your math a little bit. It's more than just building a new school. And the website that Dr. Fetcher pointed everybody to is very good. It has the plan. You can go there and look, but I just wanted to put it out quite simply that it's more than just building a building. It's a huge project. I'm asking you, my neighbors, my friends, everybody paying attention, please just vote yes. And again, I'm like many of the people who have stood up here tonight and in other meetings. My kid currently is in the middle school. He will not be in that middle school by the time the new one is built. I have nothing to gain here but the benefit of my township from this new building and providing for the next generation of kids who need it. So
Thank you for your voice. Your time is up. Mr. Kargas?
The next citizen for public comment is phone number ending in 5902. Please state your full name and address.
Go ahead. We can hear you if you can hear us.
Hi, good evening. My name is Beth Carr. I'm on Chester Avenue in Abington. First, I want to thank the 4 students that were brave enough to come and talk at tonight's meeting with all these adults. We heard a 6th grader and a 7th grader tell us that they are afraid of an active shooter being in their building. And I think that should carry a whole lot of weight with the adults that are going to be voting on our new middle school referendum.
That's right.
In addition to that, I wanted to enter a comment as an actual physically disabled person. I have mobility challenges and I use a wheelchair sometimes to get around, but I was not always disabled. When my son was in 7th grade at the middle school, I became disabled and I was no longer able to go to any of the back to school nights or meet with any of his teachers beyond that first year there because I could not make it through the building in my wheelchair. Anyone who has been to a back to school night knows just how rushed and chaotic and crowded those nights are. And it is physically impossible to make it in a wheelchair from the ground floor to the top floor, through the hallway to the room you're supposed to be in the amount of time allotted. I couldn't do it when I had 2 good legs that worked, and I certainly can't do it on the wheels that I have now. And for anyone who doubts that, I would invite you to meet me at the middle school and I will bring my spare wheelchair for you and we can go through it together and see how it goes. I don't think we'll both sit in the elevator together though. The middle school building is not appropriate. It is not safe for people who have any kind of physical disability. And Abington is better than that. Our kids deserve better than that. And so do our parents and so do our teachers. Please vote yes for the new middle school. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. With that, we'll return to the room. If there are any other comments that people would like to offer.
Good evening again, members of the school board, superintendent, and community members. Michelle Cooper, Kingsley Avenue. I come to you tonight as both a concerned resident and advocate for the children and families of our district. In recent weeks, proposed policies and budget decisions at the federal level have moved from a possibility to a real and present threat. Most notably, the proposed closure of the U.S. Department of Education and deep cuts to Medicaid. While these developments may feel far from our district, their impact will be immediate and profound, especially for our most vulnerable students. The elimination of the Department of Education would mean no federal oversight or enforcement of laws that protect students' civil rights and access to special education, including IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This could create a vacuum in accountability, leaving families without clear avenues for support when their children are not receiving the services they are legally entitled to. Simultaneously, proposed Medicaid cuts could directly harm students who rely on in-school services like speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavioral supports, and nursing care. Across Pennsylvania, nearly 1 in 2 children receive health care through Medicaid, and schools depend on Medicaid reimbursements to fund critical special education services. The loss of this funding would not only limit access to care, it could increase pressure on school budgets and staff, ultimately impacting all students. These changes are not abstract. They are legislative efforts that are already underway, and they are targeting the very systems designed to ensure equity and opportunity for every child. I urge the school board to be vigilant in this moment and to consider the following actions. Issue a public statement affirming the district's commitment to protecting the rights of students with disabilities and all vulnerable learners, regardless of what happens at the federal level. Something along the lines of what Dr. Fetcher stated at a previous school board meeting. Request a report from district administration detailing how much the district currently relies on Medicaid reimbursements for special education and health services, and how cuts would impact staffing and student support. As I'm sure most of you you're already plugged in and continue monitoring legislative developments closely, and consider forming a board-level working group or liaison to track education and healthcare policy changes that affect our students. Engage with local and state policymakers, most of which in this area already support, but it never hurts, urging them to oppose the defunding of public education and essential health programs for children. Our children deserve more, not less. And as leaders in education, your vigilance and voice in this moment matter deeply. Thank you for your time and for your continued commitment to the students and families of our community.
Thank you for your voice. Anyone else?
Good evening again, Joe Rooney. First, to get straight information that you're not going to hear from the board, commonsenseabington.com. So if you're watching or you're listening or you're here, commonsenseabington.com. And I actually have gone on extensive tours through the building, and I've been very impressed, actually. The first thing that everybody ought to ask is, why has this building been so woefully neglected, maintenance-wise, probably for about the last 10 years? And that's a direct decision that was made by this board and the administration. So what is there? There's probably $50 million of value, that's my estimate, in the building as it stands right now. It's incredibly well-built, solid structure, poured concrete, reinforced with steel, with a steel roof. A concrete poured roof that's on it. You can't build a building like that, and it wouldn't be replaced with anything that was near as safe as that building is. It has already settled. There are no cracks. The next thing is it's a modular construction, which is really wonderful for renovating, because you have 5 separate, basically, pieces of it, and you can figure out through renovation of one how to best do the other 4. The other thing, people have talked about HVAC and talked about the air filtering, whatever. The building has 2 to 3 feet above every ceiling level. When kids have ceiling tiles falling down, that's neglect by the school district, not the building. You can open a floor up and you can completely remove the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC, and anything else. And it's easy as pie to get in there and renovate it, hang new wiring trays in there, put new HVAC in there. It can be done 1 floor at a time. It's awesome how good it is. So like I said, if you stand on the 3rd and the 4th floor and you look out over those fields and look down towards the church, there's a phenomenal view. You could sell that building to a developer and he could probably put 70 or 80, 600, 200, $300,000 condominiums in that thing. We should not tear that down. People have talked about the price of demolition. They've talked about the price of the fields. If you renovate this building and add to it if needed, you don't have demolition. You don't have site work. You already have a solid building. The savings there are calculable, but like everything else about this, the devil's in the details. There are no plans right now, folks. There's a stick diagram and there's some numbers. That's all there are. They can't tell you how many classrooms are in it. There are things that need to be done in that building. All the bathrooms need to be renovated, updated HVAC, electrical, heating. But that's got to be done in the new building also. We're going to build that new. And for those of you, I actually am old enough to, I don't remember it, but I was here. That building was actually built for more kids than are in it right now. The school district probably had 1,000 more students when I was a kid growing up than they do right now. So there's a lot of value in there. The other thing is, the last thing is, the little theater is valuable.
Thank you.
Is that
Your
it?
time is up.
Okay, sorry about that. I have more common sense, Abby.
Take a seat. Thank you.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, Tara Ing again on Gregory Road. I just wanted to address one thing that was mentioned about the walls being poured concrete. When I toured the middle school last year, I spoke to the facilities director, and he said that actually makes it very difficult to renovate because he basically said you can't move walls when it's poured concrete. So I trust the facility director's assessment. I hope everyone else does. Also, I wanted to address another comment that voting no means more money for the robotics team. That's just not true, because essentially if the referendum loses, you will be taking money away from the general fund budget when you have to pay for these surprise repairs. And it's basically, it's like renting versus buying. You're throwing money into something that's not going to serve you in the future. So it's just essentially a waste of money. So I'll get to my planned comments. Even though my kids have moved on from the middle school, I know that building a new middle school will improve the quality of life for everyone in Abington. It's not just about our immediate families. You've heard from a lot of people tonight that, you know, their kids aren't even going to benefit from a new middle school. But it's about creating a community that prioritizes the safety and well-being for all of us. I appreciate our school leaders, the board, the administration, who are making decisions with long-term care and consideration, not just for today, but for the future. If Abington voters choose to limp along with ad hoc repairs, we risk turning necessary fixes into costly emergencies. This will drain resources and disrupt the education of our students. We've seen this happen in a neighboring school district where children were forced to learn in trailers for years because their district failed to properly address deteriorating facilities. Sure, it'd be nice if our facility was perfect and everything was fine. That's wishful thinking. It's not. The reality is our current building is simply not safe. I've heard countless stories of students injured in overcrowded stairwells, and many classrooms like S102 and S106, everyone who knows me knows ventilation is a key issue for me. They lack proper ventilation, and by that I mean those literally have zero fresh air coming into them. This creates an unhealthy learning environment, and these issues are not just inconveniences. They are real dangers to our children's health and well-being. This covers just a couple of the many reasons I'm voting in support of the referendum on May 20th. A new middle school will ensure a better, safer, and more vibrant Abington for generations to come. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your voice. Is there anyone else in the room who has not spoken previously but would like to speak? Okay. All right. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have any wallflowers.
Hi, Tim Myers, Maple Ave, Glenside. I'll keep this short and sweet. I think the comparison I can make is I currently drive a 2006 Toyota Sienna. Has 155,000 miles on it. You know, it's paid off. You know, I'm just trying to ride it basically until the wheels fall off, right? So if I needed a new transmission, if I needed some major repair, I wouldn't be dumping money into this almost 20-year-old car with 155,000 miles on it. That would make no sense. The middle school is the exact same thing. Why would we be dumping money into a failing, almost 70-year-old building for no reason? That makes zero sense. It's the same thing as dumping money into an old failing car. Why would you do that when you can get a new car with new technology, a new building, new technology, better facilities, better education, better for children, better for the community, better for taxpayers, better for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for your voice. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, Dr. Fetcher. I was getting to you.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
all
not
right.
gonna.
I
I
was
was
just
not gonna leave you
pulling up to the
languishing.
microphone. So
All right. I'll push my.
no.
Okay. We are closing public comments now.
I just wanted to address the federal funding. I've received a lot of questions from parents. Last night I had the opportunity to address our CPAC, or Special Ed Parents Advisory Council. And I wanted to point people in the direction, one of the big questions is how much is federal funding and how does that impact our current general operating budget. In the most recent highlights and happenings, that's my newsletter. It's not widely read, and according to the statistics on it, people spend a very brief time on there. However, within that document and also on our website is a federal funding in Abington School District, what you need to know. It breaks down all of our federal funding and where that's appropriated. So I just wanted to point that out to everyone, and also encourage highlights and happenings is riveting, and to spend more than 30 seconds to a minute on average on it, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And eloquently written.
Thank you.
All right. I wanted to, before we move on to closing comments, I wanted to note, if you're not aware, there is a new slide up on the One ASD One Future website that has a pie chart breakdown of what portion of the bond, what percentage of the bond is going to be spent on which portion of the project. So if that interests you, that information is there. With that, we'll move on to closing comments, unless there's anything you want to add, Dr. Fetcher.
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and the spirit in which, at the end of the day, this is about our students. This is about the future of our students, and I appreciate the spirit, regardless of how people will vote, that there's an interest in the education of our students, in a public education of our students here at Abington School District. So regardless of your position, I appreciate your coming out and voicing your thoughts and concerns.
Agreed. Mr. Allen.
A lot was shared tonight. I definitely appreciate the voices from the community, particularly, well, obviously for the middle school, but also around robotics. In my day job, I'm very connected to robotics and education, and the first robotics and first tech challenge in the middle school and first LEGO League in the elementary. I love the idea of the student that said building a feeder program. That's remarkable insight in year one, recognizing that they need a feeder program. So I would hope that, and the one teacher that does it, and maybe she has some help, I don't know, but that, like, I see it happen in my day job, and it's like a whole community undertaking for first robotics. However, it gives space to kids, like competition space, that aren't the jocks and the athletes, to be competitive and collaborative and innovative. It is remarkable. And the one person that said it's like an ESPN event, in my day job, we hosted I'm connected to it, the first regional competition, and it really is like an ESPN event. It's absolutely incredible. So for parents listening, if you want to get your kids involved in something, especially if first robotics grows into the middle and junior and to the elementary school with LEGO League, get them involved, because it's remarkable, and the stuff that they learn is like aces. And I know that I'm an administrator in a neighboring school district. We would love to have Abington come over and see, our robotics labs and stuff. That's like a passion. So I got really excited when I saw it. I mean, the middle school is really the hot thing, but robotics is just phenomenal. Thank you.
Mrs. Brown?
I share in your passion for things like robotics and making sure that students get an early start, whether it's first LEGO League or Apex for our high school students. I wanted to say thank you for your voices today. And if there's anyone who feels as though, I'm going to use an I statement, that I have been silent about the things that are happening in our nation today, then I apologize for that. I am an advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am an advocate for making sure that our students not only feel that they belong, but they know that they belong. And the things that we need to do to make that happen, I will continue to vote yes for. So again, I apologize if there was a sense of silence on my part, but I will continue to do the work. I will continue to show up. I am the board's liaison to the Montgomery County Intermediate Legislative Committee, who meets monthly, who are in the midst of creating written pieces that will be presented to the public. So again, I apologize if I have not been vocal enough, but I stand with you. I stand for every student who's supported with Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and I believe there's also an Act 4. And Act 4, which are those federally funded programs. So thank you for your voices. And again, I apologize if you have not heard me say it publicly, but I stand with you and I'm here for this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eisenhart.
I too would just like to thank everybody who took the time to prepare statements and have conversation on such an important topic that is affecting all of us who live in this community. I could comment on tons of them. I write them all down. It matters to hear your voices. It matters what you're saying, and to hear the engagement that's happening in this room tonight. It's clear that everyone here cares about our community. They care about our kids, and they care about what the future is going to look like. We have a couple more weeks until the actual vote will take place, and I would encourage all members of the community to continue talking to your neighbors. This is a long-term decision. This is a big investment for Abington, and I'm proud to live in a place where this dialogue continues and people are energized and excited to support public education, to support our children. Other notes, I just wanted to add a little bit about some of the other topics that came across the comment section tonight with CPAC and the concerns that we're seeing on federal levels and how it affects the board. And I appreciate the feedback from families and that they are engaging with the district as they present. That's very important as well. So thank you all for your engagement this evening, and I look forward to hearing it in the future.
Mr. Mohammed.
I want to echo the gratitude that I have for everyone who came out and brought their voices to tonight's meeting. This process has been going on for nearly 2 years, and from the very beginning, it has been transparent. It has been democratic. One of the most important aspects of today's comments were around the availability of information. The information has been made readily available to community members every step along the way, and it has been meant to ensure that every citizen can make an informed decision on May 20th. I want to thank the administration for being consistent in seeking out public input, for hosting a wide range of events and opportunities for the public to see the problem firsthand, to share their concerns, to give their input, to share the direction they'd like to see the district go. And all of that input has gotten us to this point. We heard everything that the community shared, and we made that a huge part of how we decided to move forward. It's the reason we're going forward with the option on May 20th. So I want you all to continue going to the One ASD, One Future website, which has relevant, accurate, and important information for all of you to access and use as you go forward. We're at a critical juncture as a community. A need has been clearly laid out. We know how much a new facility will support the development of our students, the growth of our community, and the alternative, if we end up not going forward with this referendum, we could find ourselves in a tough position. And so it's very important for community members to continue being informed. And it's very important for everyone to have these conversations with their neighbors and their family members, and absolutely vote yes on May 20th as the future of Abington, Rockledge, and every student that walks through our halls is in the balance.
Thank you. Ms. Spalding.
I'm not a parent. I don't have any children, so but I care about this community. I've lived here almost 3 decades. I started working in this township first, right over at Nova Plaza, and I saw the area, the neighborhood, and I decided to buy a home. And obviously, I'm happy. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be here. It's important to me. I care about the neighborhood. I care about the community. I want to see it do better. When I first lived here, Abington's records were higher than what they are now. So I think we have some work to do. We need to bring it back up. I want to see us be in the top 3 in Montgomery County. We're not there, but we will get there. And the middle school is a big part of that. So I liked hearing the comments that the actual students had to make. They're the ones that is going through it. And what their words mean way more than anything I or any other adult could say. So I hope people take that to mind when they go vote May 20th. Thank you.
Ms. Hartman?
I also want to thank everyone who came out today to speak tonight, the children, the parents. I think we heard about a lot of very relevant topics in addition to the middle school. We heard about federal funding, we heard about Medicaid, we heard about the robotics team, and I think when we sit up here, I know that my favorite part of these meetings is watching our kids and how they flourish in our school district through the programs that we offer them, athletics, robotics, arts, music, all of the programs that we offer as a school district. We watch our kids find a place where they belong and become who they are. And we give them so many opportunities to do that. I worry about the future of those programs if we don't vote yes for the referendum. I worry about our kids not having the opportunities that we give them now. And I just hope that we continue to have the really meaningful conversations around this and listen to each other, because at the end, this is all about the kids. This is all about giving them the best opportunity to be successful in the world. And I think we really need to keep them at the center of the conversation. I know that this impacts us all financially. We are all part of this community. But I think we just really need to stay focused on the end game, and that's giving our students the best opportunity to be as great as they possibly can. And again, it was great to hear everyone's perspectives. It's great to hear all of your voices. And thank you all for coming out and being part of the conversation with us.
Thank you, Ms. Fraser.
When I started public education about 37 years ago, I think about what was trending then as it relates to CTE, careers and technical education. At many schools, there were opportunities for welding, woodworking, carpentry, etc. And then over the past, don't quote me, but maybe about 10 years or so, a little over 10, there was the pendulum for STEM education, 21st century skills, engineering design challenges involving collaboration, critical thinking, communication, so on and so forth. And so here lately, we hear about investments again in CTE, career technical education, bringing back SHOP and some of those nostalgic, but yet meaningful trades. And so I'm just hoping that there will be a place for both to coexist, STEM education, science, technology, engineering, math, endeavors and incentives and budgets, along with CTE training. And I'd like to thank all of you who expressed your support for the referendum, but I also like to thank those of you for your overall participation, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Ms. Fazy?
I also want to echo all my fellow board members and thanking everyone for coming out and for their voices and for their participation, especially our students that we heard from. I have 3 students in the district and a middle schooler, and I often have conversations with her, and she'll, she's a middle schooler, she has things to say. And so I'll often ask her, I'm like, well, what do you suggest? Kind of trying to bring her out of the comments and getting her thinking a little bit more creatively. And, we talk about, she tells me about crowded hallways and this and that. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. And so, as a grown up in the room, as a board member, I'm like, well, new building, and in this whole process, this was a long process. It was years, and we listened to input from the community this whole way. There were multiple plans put forward, and we talked to people about what do they suggest, what do they think about this, what do they think about that, what about cost, all these things. And one of the options was renovation, and that was not one that the community found to be as favorable as this option. And so we're trusting on the information that we received from the community during this process in putting this forward. This is a democratic process where we're listening. We've been asking questions. We've been looking at the information for years. And in doing this referendum, we're trusting that the information that the community has given us is what they're going to go ahead and vote on. And I appreciate everybody's input of voting yes or voting no to this. But as a board and as a district, we're putting this forward to you and saying, yeah, this is what you wanted, yes or no now. And I believe that, a no vote for us would not necessarily mean more for students. It would mean an impact on our budget year to year in going ahead and doing repairs, replacements. It'd be difficult. We'd do it, but it would be very, very difficult. And so thank you everyone for, coming out, for voicing your support, your thoughts, and take care and have a good night.
Thank you. Ms. Wu?
It's just about the robotics team and the other clubs, but when I was in middle school, the only exposure I had to robotics was STEM class, and I don't know if that's still a class, but the idea of the middle school robotics club could be a potentially good idea for exposure to the club and especially to young girls. And I think that the biggest part of our school is the clubs, and there's many academic-based clubs that have limited resources, and the robotics team is still winning with these limited resources. And I didn't have much knowledge about the robotics team and how much they do, but I believe that money allocated to the academic clubs could improve these clubs. And I know many of the people on the team, and they're some of the smartest students at our school. And I know that they, along with Ms. Yeager, are the reason why the club is still succeeding. And while school athletics are really important, there should be more funds for success for academic competition opportunities or robotics and science Olympiad.
Thank you for that. Dr. Fetcher, final remarks?
I have nothing further
Okay.
This evening. Just thanks. Please read highlights and happenings. Thank you.
I think you should print out some copies and have them by the door. My board members do such a great job articulating their thoughts and their responses to everything we heard tonight. I'm not sure that there's much more for me to say, except to reiterate some points that I've made before. One of the themes among all of our speakers this evening was community, and the way that our schools really are the heart of our community, involving students at the center, but also parents and guardians. We all work together to give our students the best chance they can have. So I would to that I would also add that public education is the single greatest driver of opportunity, and public education is the single greatest driver of innovation. But public education is not a thing, it's a verb. And it requires us to invest in it. It requires us to innovate, both at the level of curriculum and at the level of facilities. And this community faces a choice on May 20th. I've said multiple times that I will be voting yes. For anyone who's still on the fence, though, I want to encourage them to go to the One ASD, One Future website. The district has been really diligent and really transparent about putting reliable, factual information out to the community. If you have questions, start there. I know that Dr. Fetcher and his team is open to questions from the community as well, if you're not finding the answers you seek there. So continue to engage in those conversations with your neighbors, your friends, your family. It's important. We'll still be a community at the end of this, however the vote comes out, but the conversations are important. With that, I want to wish everyone a good night and thank everyone for coming out to the meeting.